All right, so we're right back at it, right back into the crossover boxing scene, but I guess you could call this pro boxing at this point because we're talking about the KSI versus Tommy Fury rematch. Tommy Fury just pulled out of a show called I'm a Celeb. I've never heard of it, but I'm not from the UK, I'm from the US. They said that he got a more lucrative offer, and let's be honest, based on Tommy Fury not being the biggest name, there's only one other thing that could be more lucrative than that. And obviously that would be the KSI fight. Obviously we know that Jake Paul's tied up with the Mike Tyson fight, which I still can't believe is happening. Holy shit. KSI and Mams Taylor have both come out saying that they want the Tommy Fury rematch, so that's why I think that's what it is.
And as far as KSI and Tommy, I think when the time is right, that rematch definitely should happen. It was, to this day, people are very divided about that result.
Do you think it's more likely that Tommy KSI is a bit smoother and we could see the rematch within a year or so?
I think so. I think it's very possible, yeah.
Shout out to Punch Plan, by the way, for the clip. That's the only part of the interview I could find. But I definitely think this should happen 1,000,000%. I agree that it was a controversial decision. At the time, I thought it was a KSI win or a draw. I really didn't think that Tommy Fury did enough to win, in my opinion. A good percent of people were also saying that the first fight was boring, but I feel like that's what happens when you watch a fight expecting a knockout. Yeah, KSI's combinations were a bit repetitive. A bit repetitive is an understatement. He literally threw a 1-2 the entire fight, which he did catch Tommy with flush early in the fight. It just seems like he fell in love with that combination instantly.
Tried to beat him at boxing. Big right hand for KSI.
Which the atmosphere of that card was insane. The crowd exploded when he landed that straight right hand. Alright, so 97% of you guys aren't subscribed, which makes Dallas sad. Which is really messed up for you to do, to be honest. If you like MMA, boxing, or influencer boxing content, I post 3 times a week here. 4 times a week on Fight Week, which is most weeks. So make sure you subscribe. For Dallas, not me, of course. And I know there was a lot of complaints about clinching in that fight, but you guys got to understand, when you fight with that darting in MVP style, KSI finishes his combinations in your chest. I don't know if you would just expect him to bounce backing up. That is not safe for boxing. He's going to get clipped on the outside or coming out, which happened a couple times in the fight. But that 1-2 just kept landing on Tommy Fury, and he fell in love with it. But he needed to have longer combinations for him to get the decision in the fight. It seemed like. That's why I think it seemed like a draw initially to me. They were also working in the clinch, throwing punches in the clinch. They weren't just standing there doing nothing. It's also the ref's responsibility to separate them quicker. I feel like that was more of the problem of the fight. The boxing just needs more refs that are strict on long clinches. I know you could work in the clinch and do dirty boxing sometimes, but it was lasting a little bit too long. And yeah, at the time, KSI didn't take the decision well.
Your thoughts after that?
Robbery. It's a robbery, bro. How many jabs did he land? How many jabs did you land? You didn't get hardly any shots off. Huh? And you got a point off as well. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way, bro.
Which people were on his ass for. Let's be real for a second. A good amount of people would act like that if they lost and put on like a whole training camp and all the work into it. A lot of y'all would act the same. So I don't know why you're talking. Jake Paul was on him about it too, but people must have forgot when Jake lost to Tommy Fury. He said he had a wet dream the night before and started writing poetry about the loss.
I do want to talk about it because I know you didn't want to, but Mom said, she said, Jake had a wet dream the night before his fight. I sparked up and I said, no way. I had a wet dream the day of the KSI fight.
Huh? Like, why? First of all, why are you talking to your mom about it? Yeah, they said we're open about everything with him. I don't know. I don't know about that. And them relating about a wet dream is just wild to me. This was before Prime, I believe, so I don't even think Logan would have defended Jake at all, to be honest now, but he did then. But yeah, I got a bit sidetracked, but yeah, KSI and Jake Paul didn't take the loss too well. They both didn't like having that first loss on the record. That's one thing they initially beefed about at first. They were both saying how they were undefeated. Now they're both defeated, so it kind of brings away from the KSI Jake Paul fight a little bit, but at the same time, they lost the same opponent. So that happens all the time in boxing, MMA. That usually sets up fights, and it still hasn't set up the fight because of Jake being at heavyweight, to be honest. I'll probably make that a separate video. But yeah, like I said, 100% KSI should do the Tommy Fury fight. I don't know what pro-level boxer besides Amir Khan he faces. I know there was some buzz about Amir Khan. I know they want that fight because Amir Khan is smaller and they think he can knock him out, which is fair. It's still a huge name from the UK, so that would be a massive fight. But I definitely think that the Tommy Fury fight is the one to do. He could get the win back and get one up on Jake if he does. KSI has also said he wants that at a smaller weight because he felt like his punches weren't that powerful at a higher weight. To be honest, he cracked Tommy a couple times. He just needed longer combinations. I think he would have dropped Tommy. This could be a cog in the whole machine if they make it difficult about the weight. Tommy Fury might not abide going to a lower weight because I think that was something they talked about when they first were negotiating. But maybe Tommy's like, screw it, I beat him the first time. I should be able to beat him better the second time. But who knows? Maybe Tommy will go to a lower weight. All right, if you're still here at this point, retention stats, do not give me good favor for that. But let's talk about how this rematch would go. Tommy Fury's been extremely inactive since the KSI fight. He had some issues with his wife, maybe ex-wife. I'm not entirely sure if they went through with it. He's been making appearances on like Tom Aspinall's YouTube channel, on TV shows. But KSI has also been inactive. I think he's been training in the gym the whole time. That's what he's been claiming. But he's been more focused on music. He's on Britain's Got Talent now. He has a lot of different stuff going on, so I'm sure if he were to get to camp, he would drop those things and put 100% into the fight. But they both have been fairly inactive for a year since their fight, which I do end up thinking that it favors KSI because he's always done multiple things at once, multiple different projects while doing boxing, and Tommy's just been boxing his whole life. If he were to take a break, maybe he does get some rust, and maybe KSI does have edge in the rematch if they do it soon. But is there a chance that they're just as good as they were a year ago? Yes. Is there a chance that they're both a little bit worse than they were a year ago because of inactivity? Yes. Is there a chance that the fight goes exactly the same? Yes. Yeah, sure. There is reasons why this fight shouldn't happen. But KSI definitely wants his get back. Tommy Fury definitely wants some more money. Seems it will be a big indicator for him, which I respect. I'm going to be like that too when I get recognition, trust. To write it down, make it official, how do I think that the rematch will go? I think KSI might edge it out. I'm not going to lie. All right, let me put a picture in your guys' head real quick. Imagine if KSI knocks out Tommy Fury, the guy that Jake Paul couldn't beat. It gives KSI the major A-side in the fight. I'm sure that he will get the edge on negotiations in their fight. Oh my god, it would make things huge. Maybe Tommy Fury would face Jake if he were to get knocked out by KSI, but I just see him just bouncing out of boxing if that happens, to be honest. KSI just needs to do a little bit more to win that fight against Tommy Fury. Just needed to throw a bit longer combinations, more than a 1-2. He said if he jabbed more, he would have won the fight, but I think it's a little bit more complex than that. I like when he changes angles. He threw a really hard uppercut at some point in that fight that could have ended it, but it missed. More punches like that, more shots to the body, more body work to set up shots upstairs and stuff like that. If he just adds a little bit more of that, he wins the fight, definitely. Tommy Fury really struggled with that karate style. He really did. He could not stop the 1-2. Like, if he were to throw a third strike behind it, like a powerful left hook, he might have dropped Tommy. He hit Tommy with some really hard shots. I think it's not impossible that KSI can knock him out. To be honest, maybe at a smaller weight, maybe not. Now, is there a chance that Tommy Fury comes in better? Of course. But I just don't think he's that focused on boxing. I think KSI has a bit more of a motive to have this fight than Tommy has. I feel like Tommy's main motive is money, which isn't the most ideal thing to have motivation to win a boxing fight. So yeah, if the rematch eventually happens, I think KSI will just do a little bit more to get the win. If he somehow knocks out Tommy Fury, that makes everything 100 times more interesting for the Jake Paul fight, and I think it instantly sets it up. Maybe Jake will want to get back on Tommy to prove he's on KSI's level, but I see him just saying, fuck, I'll just face KSI. Let's hope, because we want that fight. We've been begging for it for years. Damn, I'm not cutting that because I just yapped for 30 seconds. So yeah, that's all I got to say about this. Let's pray that this fight happens because there isn't too many fights for KSI. To be honest, he's in a weird, better than an influencer, but not a pro boxer level that Jake Paul kind of fought his way out of because he beat some tomato cans, but they're still pro boxers. They would still beat me up. So yeah, make sure you guys to like and subscribe and comment your thoughts on this video. It really helps out a lot. I'm trying to build this channel into a career one day, which is the dream. Thank you guys for listening to me yap like usual, and peace out.